Oh, hi, Mickey. Funny seeing you here.
How are you?
I am, well, we are recording. We are live. I have, I, we've been trying to do this for an hour and a half, and we have had such technical difficulties. And
Cool difficulties.
to, to up here, we've had technical difficulties. This is probably the hardest get on that I've had in
Yeah,
a year
this
and a
is
half.
indicative of what we're going through right now. We've been
Yeah.
talking about that we knew this was coming. We felt it begin. We are right smack in the middle of this crap right now. I'm sure that each of you can relate a little bit at least to what we're saying because it's gotten very complicated in subtle ways. It's not big drama, it's annoying, multiple small drama.
It is. And when I think of the so what, I'm like, okay, well, all these technical difficulties, it just pushed us further out, further out. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter. We're here.
Yeah, it's like you say, the so what that I started weeks ago
Yeah.
has increased and increased and increased in its urgency as a message. And each time I kind of edited some of the um, intensity of the message because I thought, well, this is not going to sit well. But then it keeps coming back and saying, no, this is what you're going to say. This is what you got to do. And so I don't want to cause them to repeat in my face again, shaking their finger in my face. So this time you're going to get full blast of the so what. And
All right. I can't wait to hear it.
it has many implications. So, I mean, moving right along, we'll do that in a minute. But the deal is that for your edification, folks, we're we're griping and grinning because we've just been through so much crap to get this happening. And I'll tell you what my part was. You can tell what your part was. I have a little coffee machine that sits next to me. I shouldn't say machine, it's a little warmer where you put your coffee cup on it and then you dial what temperature you want it to be. So actually, there are many a day when I put it on a slightly hot, but not boiling or anything, but I put it where I can just pick it up and drink from it and not worry about it being too hot to my mouth or anything. And today, I made my coffee and stuff, and okay, get ready. So you'll have the coffee there, you got ice water there, you got whatever you need. And I went and I started doing, what over here we call it slap that you're putting on your face when you do makeup. Oh, I just added a little slap. So I'm in there doing my slap thing. And when I came back in here, all ready to go, the first thing I did when I leaned over to get the camera, the light, I leaned over the computer, my hair went in the coffee, and the cream that I was about to put in the coffee went all over the desk, the computer, everything. I wasted a whole cup of milk all over my desk.
And all over your notes.
I have a little stack of notes that has been growing because I haven't been inputting them, but that stack has been pushing on me to put it in, and I haven't done it. And so today it was also every blanket sheet is dripping, literally dripping wet. And if it were water, that's one thing. This is milk. It
Sticky
is
milk.
protein. It's going to stick together if you don't separate every page. So the whole floor around this desk, my whole carpet is covered with tiny sheets of paper.
Ah,
I'm not ready to scream.
ah.
I
And
really almost
then
added a nice generous shot of vodka next to my coffee cup, but I haven't done that.
when we're done after the meditation. No.
Yeah, and believe me, I won't forget.
So Mickey finally got on, And
Yeah.
in the meantime, I fed the dog and I did things I had to do. And I sit down and we finally got on to where we were talking. We weren't recording yet. And I disappeared. I could hear, she could hear my voice. She could see a little picture of me, but I was nowhere to be found.
And it
So
was a
I
live picture. You're talking about a profile picture. It didn't.
Yeah, and then I tried. I exited, made Mickey in charge, then I rejoined it, still nothing. So we actually had to quit everything, turn everything off, turn it back on, and even then it was working until Mickey got on, and then my picture went away again. And I'm like, what the heck? I said to Mickey, I'm like, do you think we should be doing this today? And she's like, we're here. And, and I'm like, well, okay, I'll keep trying. And then it finally came on. So now we're at gallery view. So you can see us both right and left. And it's just been, and it's been we're doing this recording because my life is so busy right now. I've had something to do every single day, either takes care of someone or the new moon is actually falls on a day that I'm working, and the day before happens to be the 4th of July here in the United States. So we couldn't do it either one of those times. So we decided, well, let's record it. But then things started happening to stop us from doing that too.
To
But
say
here,
the least.
right? But here we are, and one thing I want to say to people, and I know that the new moon is a time to set your intentions for what's coming up, and we've been doing that now for a year and a half, right? We every new moon we come, we talk about this, we talk about being careful how you speak, but then Mickey, there's the so what factor too. But in the last probably 2 to 3 weeks, I have been saying things, whatever they are, and like 2 to 10 minutes later, it happens. And I'm like, oh. I was driving and I said, oh, I think there's going to be rain by the time we get home. 5 minutes later, it was raining. And it wasn't supposed to be. And, I was with Carol, and Carol says, Kate, you're manifesting. Kate, you better watch what you say. Today, I was talking and I was saying, that I felt really good in this particular aspect where it's been a little health challenging for me. And I've been doing great. And all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, boom, it's back again. And I'm like, I gotta really watch what I'm saying. Things are happening so much faster now as far as we're saying something, we're intending it, and it's starting to happen very quickly. That's crazy. And
It is.
I've been experiencing it, and it's insane.
I have had that happen, but uh it's sporadic with me. There are times I can definitely note a trend and a cycle to it where there are times when I have to literally watch what I say. And there are times when it's even more sensitive and I have to put the same kind of care into what I'm thinking.
Well, right now, it seems that the words, and it doesn't matter if it's nature or, well, biology, it's both. But more than it's my
Yeah,
biology or it's the nature around me. Um, and my life is going wonderful. I mean, it's just like everything's fallen into place. All the things that I've been setting intentions for, I'm having very positive results. I was bored. Now I'm so busy. So, things
exactly.
are going okay. And I definitely take your advice, Mickey, with so what? Oh, well, we had all this technical difficulties, but so what? We made it. We're on. At
Yeah,
work the other day, we lost our internet, and at work, we need the internet to do credit cards. So, it was like, so what? We had to come up with a different solution, but then we had to fix the problem. So, I'm not saying we don't have to take action. We do, but sometimes we don't, and it just happens and it's a surprise. So watch out for those surprises and take note of them. And things are working faster, so we need to be grateful for that. Thank you.
Yes, I
And then
agree.
watch your mouth, zip the lip.
Oh gosh, it's just it's a very interesting time. Um, Gosh, that goes on so many levels too. That's universal, it's earthly, it's planetary, it's personal, it's close family, it's friends. It's a very interesting but intense time. It's about this fluctuation of intensity that I'm working with. I'm trying to get used to being of intensity and then learning to adjust what I need to feel and think based on the intensity that I'm picking up.
Yeah.
Um, that kind of brings me back to what I was going to get into today. Um, a few weeks ago, I brought up our very first question, and we had quite a reaction to that session where we'd ask people, a question and let them respond. And this time, um, there were two questions.
Oh,
Uh-huh. One at the beginning and one at the ending. I'm just bringing that document up so I can say to you, um, oh gosh. Okay, here we go with the technical difficulties. There we go. All right, let's see. Okay.
we're just going to struggle through these. We're going to get this
Yeah.
done no matter what.
Thank God I put it in red bold print underscore so I could
Good.
find it immediately. The eye would fall on it. The new question is, who was the first person that truly believed in you?
Interesting.
Now, I mean, outside of course, you believe in you, but as an influence in your life, as a person you've run into, and so forth, this includes close people, far people, whatever. But who was the first
The
person
very
that,
first one. I'll tell
that really believed in you?
I can tell you who it was. I
Who's
can't
that?
remember her name though. Let's see. It was a teacher. She was my first grade teacher. And
Oh,
I will tell you what happened. It was in art class,
yeah.
and everybody was drawing the Santa, the Maria, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, right? So it must have been the beginning of school. And and she called on Parents' Day. She talked to my mother, and she had the picture that I had drawn, and she said, "Your daughter is going to be an artist." And my mother's
Oh,
like, "First grade? How do you know that?" And she said, "She sees differently than everyone else in the class." And my mother was like, "What are you talking about?" And she said she showed her the other pictures that the kids did, and the sails they made just squares. My sails were concaved.
ah,
And she said she sees reality different. And
oh,
yeah,
oh, wow.
I have chills all over me right now. That was kind of exciting. Yeah. But that
Man,
was the first person that really believed that I had a talent, that I could do something with my
saw
life.
something projected forth. She saw something in you now, which had a tail on it, a
Yep, yep.
rocket,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she could see the trajectory of what was there. That's fantastic.
I love these questions. They bring up things that I have not thought about in so long. Because I thought about, oh, my daughter and my husband was very supportive, and I kind of kept going backwards, and I'm like, oh my God, it was my first grade teacher.
I have a very special feeling for my first grade teacher. And
Interesting.
when you said it, first grade teacher, I thought about it and said, oh, instantly, I would love to know the statistics of how many people answered it that way because
Yeah.
the significance of that first time that you touch the educational system,
Yeah.
whoever that first person was, definitely made some kind of impact. And it would be interesting to know, was that good? Was that bad? Did it, because the next part of what I was going to say after the question was, and what did it help you to do or to understand or help you handle? Something about their belief in you. What was the effect of their belief in you?
Um,
What did it help you to
hello.
do?
Those are all my paintings.
Oh,
There's your answer. And there's
touche.
and there's more if I point it in this direction.
Right,
That's one of my
right.
favorite ones right there. I don't know
Oh,
if
I
that
like
shows up
that.
if it
Yeah,
shows
I like
up
that.
very well, but and then I could shoot it over to that wall. Those are all my
Yes,
so
yes.
it's just funny that was it. So
I
there
painted.
I answered both parts.
Yes, I did paint a bit in my early 20s and 30s and so forth. Um, but it didn't remain the focus of my artistic expression. I got
Mm,
deeply into designing
clothing, right?
clothes and
Yeah.
art and so forth, housewares,
Mm,
all kinds of stuff. But what happened is that in making the designs I was doing, I had to create them literally pixel by pixel digitally first. And
yeah.
because of the timing, it wasn't like all these fabulous art programs we have now. This was literally pixel by pixel, on an early, I forget the name of the program. But
Corel?
no, well,
No.
I did do some Corel, but I eventually settled into, oh, what's the name? Paint. That's the
Paint.
name of it.
Okay.
Paint,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
paint program. And I got so used to doing it that I didn't have to think about what I was doing. I was so familiar with the commands and stuff. You reach a point where you're just
Yeah.
immediately translating what you want through what you
Yes.
done. But it means that the medium through which I created changed drastically from me being on any kind of canvas or even when I worked in clay or anything physical. Everything I did now was digitized. I
Okay.
was working, and you save. And because I was concerned about um, provency, being able to show that I really had done it, then
Hmm.
I would save every couple of changes that I did to it,
Of
and I'd
course.
save and number them
Hmm.
so that if someone ever copied my work and questioned, oh no, I did this, I said, no, you didn't, I did it, and I can show it from the very first frame
Right. Yep.
all the way through the process to the end.
Yep.
And unless you can show that, you can't prove you did it. So,
Right, right. I have a good friend and she paints murals.
ah,
And she's probably watching this, so I'll shout out to her. But I've talked to her about doing a time lapse. So as
yes,
she's doing it, I would do some recording and then put it together and make it like a fast forward type thing so that people could see the progress.
I
And
love fast forward. Yeah,
exactly, that it's so exciting to watch something come to life,
yes,
on a screen. Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
So, these times are crazy, but they're great, you know?
That is great. It is even that's part of the rest of what I was going to get into is the fact that that so what thing, it's not bringing down the importance of any
Not at
particular
all.
moment. It's making you even out this, oh, that one was great and that one was not. And it's making you even that out to actually everything is great.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, now careful, careful, because I'm even saying that when it's something dire, I'm saying even when there's some absolutely horrific accident or some kind of physical malady or what have you, um, I know it's going to be hard for people to accept that. This is the part I always left out because how is anybody going to understand what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying, um, your kid fell out of the tree and broke their leg, and you're saying, well, how is that great? It was great because it was just another manifestation of a path that could be chosen. There is no path better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me is the hardest part because I want to say, but this person was bad and this person was a dictator and this person,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so what?
Yeah. You know,
Well,
as you just began saying that, what came to my mind was, and all those people about 20 years ago, it's like being on lithium, right? Everything
yeah,
evens out, right? There's no ups and downs. Everything is kind of middle of the road in a good way, in a
that's interesting.
calm way.
Really.
Yeah.
It evens stuff out.
It
That's
it
interesting.
does. Like, and I'm trying to think of where it is. It's somewhere in France, and they have this drinking water, and there's lithium that is naturally in it, and the people there are just so happy.
What? I've never heard of it
Yeah,
occurring
yeah. I'll have to
naturally
look
like
up
that.
and see
Oh,
where that is. I don't think it's Lourdes. I think it's somewhere else, but they've called it the Fountain of Youth, but it's the Fountain of Happiness.
yeah, that is such a thing to think about.
It
Whoa.
yes. So it's not that there aren't things that are um objectional to you. You know, I do
Yeah,
object to some
yeah,
things. I don't have to condone things, but my even life can be okay where I'm at.
yeah. I understand the wisdom of this particular way of thinking. I'm not used to it.
No, it's
I'm working
hard.
on it. I'm working very hard on it.
Hmm.
Um, I had I guess, a dream, a meditation, or something. I was in out of this reality at some point and saw reality. I saw the universe, the dimensions, and so forth. I was loose out like in a quantum jump.
Hmm.
And as I looked out at the current reality, I saw myself, my now, my entity,
Hmm.
was just a dot on a whole bunch of dots that were connected by these little, like a dash between the different dots. I was looking at the sky, at reality, everything in the reality, all the planets, all the galaxies, everything were connected by each now was connected to another and another and another and another. And it made the whole of it in 3D look like you were looking through a dense, you're
Hmm.
looking through it at a whole density of all these billions of dots connected. And yet it wasn't what I thought it was. It was where each dot represented only one incarnation. And then it started to even break further down into being each now. So it
Oh.
was like you could look through, let's say, a pudding, and you could look down into the pudding or the jello. You could see through it, but you could see that it had density.
Hmm.
And you started to realize that nothing in it was unconnected. Every molecule,
Mm.
like every path, every now, is connected. And I suddenly understood this thing about the so what has to do with God is everything at every moment. So every now exists. Okay. The Godhood is all that is, but it is literally all that there is. But all of it
Past,
is what it
present, and
is
future.
all the time. It
Yeah.
is, God is always God, and it is everything all the time. So, for that reason, you have every possibility of whatever can be is somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means then that the you that you have picked to be right now, no matter who it is, no matter whether it's good, bad, or indifferent,
Hmm.
it's only one of the ones that is a representation of what can be. Because whatever can be is being. And I thought about it for weeks as that way I've just laid it out. But then this week, it came in a whole new way. Ah, This time, I was listening to a lecture by someone who is not human. They're a visiting spirit.
Like our Seth.
Yes, from another time, another planet. Actually, this is another planetary being. And they were talking about the fact that, well, one of their commenters was saying, well, when are we ever going to make contact? When are you going to show yourself to us? When are you going to? And he said, we can't show ourselves to you yet because you're not ready.
Mm.
You're still so judgmental on a physical view that you can't handle what you would see. So we're waiting for you to catch up. When you get to the point where you're less judgmental and less thrown by what you see, when you can accept more readily what is possible to see, then we'll be free to make the physical contact and let you actually see us. But right now, you can't handle it. And this, the communists kept on chewing on that and chewing on that. Why is it so bad? And is it this? And that? So, well, to be perfectly honest, he said, I don't know how you're going to take this, but you can't resist us. And I said,
Wow.
I beg your pardon? We what? No, you can't. You wouldn't be able to resist us. We're absolutely irresistible. So therefore, we can't show ourselves to you because you don't have the discernment yet to keep that separate. You'd be trying so hard to be us and be like us and be. We don't want that. We don't want to come in and influence you in that way. I thought, wow, that is heavy. That's
Wow.
like some guy who's Sean Connery and says, I can't come to your club because none of you broads could handle it. And he's right.
That's interesting because when we think you can't handle it, it's scary or it's ugly
Right.
or whatever. But it's bringing up thoughts of there was a original series Star Trek show, and there was a being that was so beautiful that they could not look upon their face or they would go to
That's right. I
honest to
forgot about
God.
that. I forgot
Yeah.
all about that. Well, that's what this is. And hearing you say that makes me wonder where they got that idea from because Gene Roddenberry was very deeply into woo woo
Absolutely. Yes.
and UFOs and
Yep.
all of that. He
Yep.
was very into it and
Yeah.
he really wanted to find a way to help us get ready for the idea
And
of
it's
making
there.
contact.
Yeah.
Here's what it could look like if we were free to make contact, and here's what could happen. And
That is awesome. Oh my God, Mickey, I have chills again.
well, that's why I say this was such a tricky question for me because at different times in my life, the effects of that early faith in me has had several effects. Sometimes it was intense and helpful, but at other times when I wasn't feeling so confident, then the faith of others deepened my own sense of inadequacy.
Hmm.
It's a strange thing about how you accept what others think of you, how you process it, because sometimes it helps you feel better and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
But
Right.
in each case, you were reacting to an outside influence in an unnecessary way.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, the only thing that matters is what you think.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
if I doubted myself, then I also doubted the wisdom of those who had lots of faith in me.
True.
So through no problem of their own, here you are taken away from who they are, who you think they are, how you see them gets changed slightly by how you see yourself.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So now more than ever,
Yeah.
the bottom line, ta-da, of this whole thing is now more than ever, trust the process in your life.
Yeah.
Be at peace with where you are, and only then make aim your effort to shoot forward to any new space.
Yeah. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's another part in here where I was saying how to be totally successful in life, you have to fly. And I thought, but we don't fly. He says, no, fly is um first love yourself.
Yes, yes. And, all of us here are doing the self work. And that's the biggest part of it is self love and self
That's
care.
it.
Yeah. And
That's it.
it's never selfishness. It's always self love.
Well,
Yes.
I saw that fly thing on a meme by a guy I really respect. His name is Jasper Vanderloop. And you can Google that. You can search on Facebook. He is the guy who edits and takes care of the Greg Braden and Joe
Oh,
Dispenza and
okay.
that whole website. He runs that, and a lot of
Oh,
times the things he puts on there, you can't share them because you have to be in the group to send it to each other. You can't, but
oh, you can't send it out of the group.
right. But he
Okay.
said once when I kept saying, "Oh gosh, I got to reproduce this one so I can share." Oh, I wish I could share. He says, "All you have to do is friend me and go to my page, and there you'll see it as a regular person where you can share."
Oh,
So I
interesting.
go to the
Okay.
Jasper Vanderlook, and that's Vanderlucht.
Okay. We will put a link in
Yeah,
YouTube for that. Yeah.
yeah, because that is lovely. That section, it's like that one that Larry Borick does. That one's a lovely, lovely, lovely page as well.
Nice. Well, we're going to have a
But
lot of links in this one. Yeah.
oh yes, definitely.
Nice. Nice.
Um, yeah. So anyway, it was saying to make the most of your present by celebrating it. You have to cultivate a constant awareness of gratitude.
Ah,
Okay? Acknowledge the gifts that you already have, in other words,
mm-hmm,
and start from there. Once you recognize your blessings, then
mm-hmm.
you can actually watch them multiply.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you've got to recognize the blessings,
Yeah.
or you're going to miss seeing it multiply. I also wanted to offer this. Every situation that you encounter is a part of a very grand design. I sometimes struggle to remember this one
Mm.
because then I look outward at some of the really challenging lives that others have chosen to explore, and then I instantly adjust any doubt and discomfort that I might be going through. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you it's that whole thing about, I was bitching about the shoes I had until I saw somebody with no feet, et cetera, et cetera, that
Yeah. Yeah.
old thing about that. Well, when you really think about that, it works. No
Yeah.
matter what you're complaining about, you suddenly realize, well, at least such and such didn't happen.
Yes.
You can always find a worse example of what someone's dealing with
Mm-hmm.
than what you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you are basking in that ever so slight relief, then you can kind of grasp a little bit more positive way of looking at what you're going through. And seeing somebody say, but I was in a horrible accident and I almost died. Oh, but what if the person does die? So what? Here we go again.
Yes.
Yes, and if you die, so what?
Right.
You're just going to turn around and come back. So, hey, you know, um, I find it helpful to make my way toward breaking free of my constant chain of limiting thought by just being grateful.
Yes.
Now, that's little grateful as well as big. I'm not saying you have to sit there like this. Oh my God, I'm alive. Oh, I'm so lucky because, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in the back of your mind, even, not even right here in the front, but in the back of your mind, the more you do it, the more constant this backdrop behind you becomes one of gratitude. So you are literally changing the environment around yourself that's made up of your thoughts. It becomes a habit
It does.
to be
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah.
And it's not a hard habit to make.
Nope.
but you do have to do it. You've got to work at it, you know? So that's part of my so what speech. You
Yeah.
know, you got to be present
Yep.
to your day each day. Do it however much you want, but do it. Okay.
Just like we say, do it to meditate or to journey, right?
Yeah,
Just do
yeah.
it.
If
And
you miss a day, if you miss a week, if you miss a month, so
so what?
you
Start
were
doing it.
doing what you were supposed to do for those other times in between. That's the way it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, the real basis of the so what mindset is you cannot do it wrong.
Right.
You can't. You
Right.
see, because everything you do is a representation of one particular way that it could be done.
Mm-hmm.
You're always representing, as we say in the culture, hey, represent. But you can't do anything but represent. You see? So now, if you want to change the particular reality you're representing, that's when we do things to change who we are, how we are. You dye your hair, you whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You make the changes. But at that point, you have literally decided to choose a slightly different path, a slightly different now. And you're hopping between those little points in the jello that I was talking about. This one's here, and that one's there, and that one's over there,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're all jello. So,
Right. And we know that other realities, we're taking the other choice. Like
exactly.
whatever choice. Well, for instance, there is a Kate and Mickey that did not have trouble, and they are already having their dinner because they're
They're
done.
finished.
And there isn't milk all over Mickey's keyboard.
No,
you
it's
know,
just my little drink of Metaxa.
so with each choice we make, there is another us that is living in another reality with the choice we didn't make. So every
That's right.
choice is being experienced by
And yeah.
us. Yeah.
No,
And
I'm glad that we're experiencing them all at different times. We're making that choice.
yeah.
And people might say, how do I know that it's all right to be whatever way you choose to be? Because as you examine history, you will, it becomes increasingly clear that many of those who have historical information of that we have historical information about, those people are not nice a lot of times. When you're
Well,
studying king this and emperor that and so forth, and they weren't particularly spiritual or seemingly helpful personalities,
right.
but they were manifestations of all that is too.
They were necessary for growth.
They
So
were necessary to flesh out the fact that we're saying all that is,
right.
because it's the dark and the light.
That's right, because this is the yin and the yang type of um,
You cannot have one without the other. I try to
absolute.
remember
Yeah.
that I have no idea of what the overall view of creation is supposed to be. So I cannot, my efforts to judge the rightness of any person's influence and what it's supposed to be is off because I don't know what the whole picture is. And that one little, like if you stubbed your toe and fell over this way and suddenly saw something under the table that you've been looking for 20 years, if you hadn't stubbed your toe, you wouldn't have seen it.
Right. Right.
Okay. And I
Okay.
look at
Yep.
reality that way. We don't know what the whole of what God is. So we don't know how many different things are sending back information about how you could be. Oh, you could be like this, or you could be like that, or you could be. What do we know about it?
I'm thinking the answer to that question is unlimited, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it
And
is
it,
infinite.
the very second that you
Infinite.
judge and say, oh, well, this person shouldn't have been like that, you
Mm-mm.
have just limited God.
Yes, and there is no limit to God.
You dare not.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. Right. Absolutely. Oh my
I
God.
can't say.
This is a wonderful conversation, Mickey.
Well, then, when you and I get together and chew the fat,
I
we
know.
keep it
This is
all.
great. I love this.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
we put in motion each day forms our vote, quote unquote, for a particular truth of the vibrations that work on our planet at that time. Like
Mhm.
if 75% of the people are being positive and 25% are being negative at that moment, and then some, say 100,000 people over in this continent suddenly had a positive thought, it may have just moved the needle slightly. So now it's 29% positive, you see, and 71% negative.
Yeah.
Well, at any given moment, whatever vibe you're holding
Hmm.
is contributing to that ratio one way or another. And when it gets to the
So make it
50-50,
positive, people.
exactly, we want a 51-49 if nothing else. If it's 90% good and 10% bad, that's fine. But the deal is, wouldn't it be lovely if we at least get 51%?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
so many of the woo community say the easiest way to raise your vibration to allow that to happen is to take deep breaths.
Yes.
Deep breath, close your eyes, and just know that you're breathing in this beautiful white light and exhaling anything that might be negative or that you want to get
Yes.
rid of in your person. And that's such a simple thing to do, and we forget. I forget. I have to remind myself to do these things. But nowadays I'm on a much more even keel.
Me too.
I'm on smooth waters now, kind of like being in a lake, whereas before I was on the ocean.
Yeah, and you can't tread but so long. I don't care how good you swim.
Exactly, and I'm not the best swimmer in the world, but it's just it's an amazing unlimited. We are unlimited because you go back to the darn Bible. We were made in God's image. God doesn't make any junk.
We couldn't have been made in any other image.
Of course. And but that means that we have the abilities that God has. That
Exactly.
we are manifestors, that we are creators. It goes back to that kindergarten teacher or first grade teacher. She said, I was going to be an artist. I was going to create art. I was a creator. She's the first person that said to me I was a creator.
That is so empowering. For the
Mhm.
rest of your little growing up life, that had been seeded in there.
It was. I remember. Do you guys remember you're not supposed to use matches anymore, but those little matches that opened up, there was always
Yeah.
a little donkey head or a little bunny, and it said, "Oh, can you draw this and you can come to our
Yes.
school." I
Yes.
I did that when I was probably in third grade, and I sent it into them, and they sent me back a letter saying that my work was beautiful, but I really had to, finish school first, get
Yes.
through high school, and then I could, move on to the art school.
Right.
And I always strive to do that. And I never did go to art school, but I always, everybody when it came to art was very positive about my abilities and encouraging of me. It's I didn't move on to it. I ended up having children and I became a mama, and the art didn't come into my life again until much later in my life. As a matter of fact, in the 2020 was a lot of this stuff that you see around here. But I have um, one picture that I did that I still have the original, and I did it when I was 14 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. I'll take a picture of it and I will put it in the comments below so that you can all see it. But it was Ringo Starr at
Oh,
the concert of Bangladesh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I did it
That's
in
amazing.
oil pastels. And all my other childhood art was lost because our home was in a flood and the stuff was in the basement. So we have nothing left of our childhood. But
Oh,
I did Ringo after that, and I had them put away. So
interesting.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That is lovely.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
I love it. And I ended up going to college for IT and I became desktop publisher. So I was very versed at Photoshop and InDesign. Haven't used those for a long time. So then I moved into watercolors, which is what's around me now.
I've
So,
never been able to work in watercolor. I've worked in acrylics and oil,
yep, me too.
but I've never been able to do watercolor. I've tried a few times, but
Yeah.
it was very frustrating to me, so I didn't go
Well,
down that route. But
this is how I started.
oh, that's interesting.
This is how I started. And yeah.
That's
And
a
there
good way to do it. I never even thought of doing that. That's great
Yep, that and
because
wait
it's the
till I grab you.
uncertainty.
Let me grab you one other one. This one here. I made my color wheel.
Oh, look at that.
Color wheel.
See, that's why I wasn't doing well with watercolor because the uncertainty of
And
what
then
particular
dot. Yeah.
intensity you get and
But
whether it was
that's
feasible or not.
right.
And,
So that's why these
that's
let
it.
you let them fade out and how you
Right.
use them. But these were the raw colors. Then I learned how to mix them, which is even cooler.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
agree.
And then I got into, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Probably this
Oh,
was
look at that.
on
Yeah.
black paper, which I thought was pretty cool.
Well, I have a friend who used to paint in oils on black velvet.
Oh, nice. And this was just using black. And
Yes.
you can make the different variations. So
That is incredible. You didn't
I
need art school.
oh, stop it. I have one. I practiced, I can't tell you how long to make water droplets. And
Oh, yes.
I'll have to bring those next time, but
That's deceptively difficult.
it is, and it takes forever, but boy, oh
Yes.
boy, when you get it, it's there.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've heard
water.
many artists talk about the difficulty
Yeah,
of trying to convey water in
yeah,
any form. It's
yes.
just elusive because
It,
it's so filled with light and reflection.
yeah, yeah.
And it's hard to
And
depict that.
so I am sitting here at my art table. Like I just put the computer on my art table. So and I haven't painted in over a year. And
Oh,
I'm thinking it's time to get back to it because I've been doing house repairs. I'm working at this new job, so my focus just got changed a little bit.
yes,
But
yes.
I do love creating, and whether it's creating art or it's creating my environment around me, or creating a beautiful home, creating wellness in your body, creating wellness in the people around you. As a matter of fact, when we get to our journey today, a lot of it is going to be about wellness and about healing. And we've done healing for ourselves. This one, I want to put healing in for those around us, healing people
Oh,
that we
good.
know,
Oh, that's lovely.
family members, people we don't know,
That's a great idea.
situations. You can heal anything. You can heal the past, which creates a whole new
Yes.
future that affects you and those around you.
Well, this thing about healing the past,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
and I have been laughing about this for a couple of days. I'm going to try and talk about it without being too personally specific.
Okay.
But there was a situation in my life where it's a very close relationship, and we were very much involved in a feud that has lasted about 30 years. Okay. And it was the only really deeply negative thing out of me remembering my life and so forth was, yeah, except for that. And you told me about the Mandela effect, and I had never heard of that before, which is where two people each remember the same incident extremely differently.
Hmm.
And I mean to an extreme where in some cases it's totally different. And in the recent past, I have been having conversations with this person. And this is, it's new, trying to converse again. So you're much more careful and what have you. But recently, we were talking and they mentioned an incident in my early life, say in my late 20s.
Hmm.
And as they talked about how wonderful it was, and they went on about the particulars of the incident, I sat here and I was trying to keep my face straight because I didn't want to convey that I was in total shock. It had nothing to do with what had happened as I knew it to be. It was just totally different. It didn't happen. And so I had expressed, 20 years ago, I had expressed how it was so sad that this person had expressed that part of their, and when we were trying to talk about the feud, and I said, well, what is wrong? What have I ever done? What makes you so angry at me? And they expressed that this and this had never happened, that they had never been a point in our lives where such and such a situation could happen. But now it's 20 years later, it's 30 years into the feud. And as they talked about that situation, they went on and on about how wonderful it was and all the things that we did and how great it was, the experience of it, and blah, blah, blah. And I sat there in shock because what are you talking about? That didn't happen.
Yeah.
So evidently, at some point, they had changed their past to include this very heartfelt desire that they had, that we had all been able to experience things a certain way.
Hmm.
And so it was totally different. And I thought, this is great. It releases me from having to worry about correcting this terrible influence or this bad feeling because they had already changed their past.
Yeah.
So it does happen.
It
You
does.
know, take heart, folks. It can happen. I didn't even put it in motion. The other person changed what they thought happened in the past. It
Beautiful.
was a different them.
Beautiful. But I bet you had a part in playing in that because
Probably.
when you have the wish and the desire that things were different, that helps to put that into motion as well. So
Yes.
it was a combined effort, I'm sure.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. We each had agreed to change the past. That works for me. Um,
Now, there's an actual Seth exercise there's a PDF that somebody put together all of the exercises, and there is something about changing the past
yes.
and how
Yes.
it works. And I know that it is recorded because I recorded it, and I will have to dig it up
Okay.
and add a link to that too. But it's amazing what we can do when we put our minds to it.
I agree.
I mean, I've taught Reiki for 15 years now, and part of Reiki too is healing in the past or in distance, so distant healing. And you can heal relationships by using a crystal as a pseudo relationship or person, and you can heal the past if you can go back. And Bert Goldman did one of these too. If you could go back to the right before whatever happened, and you change the way that was, that you change it, and the other person feels that too. It's amazing what we can do because
We're
everything's
learning
happening
what we're
right
talking
now.
about. Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
no past.
We are learning how much power we have over the now.
Yes.
And there are a lot of different ways to experience changing what it is into what we want it to be.
Yeah.
It's simply a different now.
Yeah. And we have all
Yeah.
the power. We have all the power. So my advice is have the best thoughts. and say the
Yes,
best words and be kind and be thoughtful and, erase when you have a thought that's like negative or whatever you think isn't a great positive, because the more of those you have, the more of those you're going to bring to you as well.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I
Yeah.
know that we have to give some thought to how to proceed each day. And my last part of the message for today that I was given was, what part of what all that is consists of will I choose to demonstrate today? Well,
Nice.
I get to choose. So, what part of being God will I show today? So, my feedback report is about that, you
Nice.
know, as it goes in.
I love it. I love it. Well, what do you say, Mickey? Are we ready to get into this journey?
I think we are.
All right. So, what I'd like for everybody to do is just sit back, relax, close your eyes, and Mickey and I are going to turn our videos off, and I will get some pretty ocean views going for you. But close your eyes and just relax, and we will be back at the end of the journey. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, I ask that you get comfortable. You can sit or lie down, making sure that your head is supported. Close your eyes. And let's take a deep breath in and out. Again, in and out. Very good. Just relax all the muscles. Let go of all the tension in your body. And I'm going to point to different parts of your body, and I just ask that you concentrate on whatever point it is that I mention, and then release the muscles, the tension, whatever you're holding that's stagnant in those areas. Let's start at the top of the head with your scalp. Just tense your scalp a little bit and then let it go. Release the tension. And your forehead. Just crinkle it up a little bit and then relax all the muscles, letting it go. Your eyebrows, your eyelids, your cheeks, your ears, your nose, your lips, and your jaw. Part your teeth slightly, allowing any tensions held in your face and your jaw to just flow down your spine, all the way down and out the soles of your feet and your neck. Release the tension in your neck and your shoulders. Just lift them up and then let them slide down, relaxing them, allowing your shoulder blades to just melt down your back like butter. Oh, and your arms, your upper arms, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers. Even shake your hands out a little bit, letting all tensions go. And focus on your chest and release all tensions there.
in your upper back. Release all tensions in your upper back. Focusing now on your torso, your belly. You can feel your belly rise with each in-breath and let go of all tensions in your belly area with your out-breath. In your lower back, release any energies that is being held in your lower back, your hips, your buttocks, moving down to your thighs. Relax your legs, your knees, calves and shins, your ankles, your feet and your toes. Wiggle your toes, allowing the last bits of energy that is unwanted, unneeded, to just be released. Very good. You are now completely relaxed. Now I'm going to ask that you use your imagination. And I would like for you to visualize and say to yourself the number 3 times on each out breath, and then 2, and then 1. And you can do it along with me. Take a deep breath in. 3, 3, 3. And another deep breath in. 2, 2, 2. Deep breath in. 1, 1, 1. Beautiful. You are now at a more relaxed, a deeper state of mind. Now again, let's use your imagination and visualize that you are standing on top of a staircase and there's 10 steps and there's a handrail. And you're going to hold on to this rail as you walk slowly, slowly down these steps, one by one, starting with 10, 9, going deeper and deeper, 8, 7, deeper and deeper, 6, 5, 4, deeper and deeper, 3, 2, deeper and deeper, 1. You are now at the bottom of the staircase and you find yourself in your meditation. And this is within your heart space. We have decorated it before, and if this is the first time with us, please decorate it in any way you see fit. But there's always some kind of fireplace, a candle, whatever you see fit, but something that is burning and that warms the space and that is wonderful to look at. Now, there is also our creation room or our lab, and that's where our healing table is. And we're going to go visit that room right now. So join me in that space. And when you get there, make yourself comfortable on your healing table. You can put a pillow under your head or one under your knees. Cover yourself with a blanket or just be the way you are. You can also invite any beings that you want to assist you. Angels, spirits, guides, beings of light, your higher self, all that is. It's up to you. So I'll give you a moment to get yourself situated. And while you're getting ready, I would just like to mention that we are doing this in preparation for the new moon in July. And this is a time where we set our intentions. So at this point, we are going to heal our bodies, our minds, our souls. Whatever it is that we need, this is our time for self-love. And I'm going to give us, about 5 minutes to just have a complete healing done. And I'm gonna talk you through it if this is your first time. If you have a way or a process, that's okay. You can use that process. But I'm going to ask my higher self to join me, and that your beings that you're asking for are joining you. And at this time, we want to start by scanning our body and ask your beings, your higher self, to start at your head and scan your head and moving down towards your neck and your chest, your arms, your belly, your hips, your legs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, and your feet. And as your higher self is scanning over your body, allow them to just stop wherever they need and heal that place. Now, this could be, like I said, emotional, physical, spiritual. Whatever kind of healing that you need and you desire at this time, this is your time to receive all of the good things, all of the healing that you, your higher self, see fit for your highest and greatest good. Now I'm going to give you time to yourself to complete this healing. Notice how fast your spirit guides, angels, higher self can work. Notice how happy they are to assist you in giving you what you need for your highest and greatest good. Allow their healing energy to just pour through your body, your light body, drinking it in. It is soaking through every pore. It is reaching and circling around every cell in your body, stopping when it feels it needs a little extra attention, and then continuing to reach every part of your body, your mind, your soul. Notice how good this feels to be treated so well and so completely by these beings of light. Now, when your healing is complete, make sure you thank these beings, as they are always with you. All you need to do is ask for their assistance. Show your gratitude. It might be with a hug, with a kind word, a thank you. Have it come from your heart. Now, I would like for you to just sit up, still on the table. Grab yourself a little water. It's right there. This is your lab. Everything you need is within arm's reach. Beautiful. Now, make sure that you're completed with your healing. And we're going to walk back into the meditation room and stand in front of our quantum door. Now, what I would like for you to intend is that when this door opens, it's going to open to a little grassy area not far from the door. And we're all going to gather there. And we're going to sit in a circle. That's right. We're going to create a circle on this new moon. We can have a fire in the middle of the circle, as there is no light coming from the moon at this time. So is everybody ready? I'm going to count to 3. On the count of 3, this quantum door is going to open, and you will be able to see the fire in the center. And you'll see that there are logs for you to sit on, or you can sit on the grass, whatever makes you feel comfortable. You can even bring a lounge chair if that's what you desire. You just have to set the intention and know that this circle is going to be a healing circle. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. The door is open and we are ready to cross that threshold into our quantum world. So let's all take just a moment to gather around the circle, sitting comfortably, whether it's on the log or on the ground or in a lounge chair. We'll wait a moment for everybody to gather. Wonderful. Now, while we are here, I want you to pull in the energy from this quantum world into your crown chakra, the top of your head. Imagine it like a funnel pouring into your crown chakra, and it's filling your system, and it is going down through your central channel, and it is filling you completely. So much energy is coming through just for you. You are receiving this energy, and this energy is life-giving. It is also healing. Now that you are completely full, I would like for you to send it in a clockwise manner. So you're going to be sending it through your left hand to the person to your left. Always to the person to your left, and that person to their left, until we create this vortex of strength and healing. The energy is getting stronger and stronger. And instead of just the little funnel of energy coming into your crown, we have now created a huge funnel of energy around our fire. And we are giving this energy to each other, this love, this light. We are giving it freely without asking for anything in return. However, we are still receiving universal energy into our crown, always receiving first, filling your heart space and your body, and then sending it along. Now, we have created such a beautiful vortex. I'm going to ask you to expand this vortex to your friends and your family. We all have people in our lives that need assistance, that need healing. Keep those people in mind. Expanding this, we're still receiving through our crown, we're still sending to each other, but now the circle is getting bigger and bigger, including our friends and family that all need a little love, a little healing, a little universal energy. And let's just rest in this for just a few moments. All right, now I'm going to ask you to expand your energy again. And this time you want to include your town where you live, wherever that may be. Send energy, love, white light to all the places in your town that need this. It could be schools, they could be workplaces, could be outdoors, indoors, whatever you see fit. Could be the entire town. You're sending universal love to the town in which you're living. And this includes the animals, birds, insects, reptiles, fish, whatever is there. Even the grass and the flowers, the trees, and the rocks, and the soil, and the water. You are spreading wonderful, beautiful, loving energy to all conscious life in your town. Now, remember always to be taking the energy first for yourself. We never want to deplete ourselves. So we are filling ourselves, and I'm going to ask you to expand again, this time to your country. Expand it to the entire country in which you live, filling that country with energy and love, compassion and joy, happiness, all of the good things in life. Now I'm going to ask that you expand again. And this time, we want to be in the northern hemisphere, the entire northern hemisphere, just covering it with beautiful energy and love. Because as this energy comes into your crown, down to your heart space, now your signature is on this energy as you send it to the entire northern hemisphere. And that includes the waterways, the land masses, the North Pole, and everyone benefits from this energy. Now you're doing such a good job. Take more energy in, and we're going to expand it to the southern hemisphere. So now we're encompassing the entire Earth. We are surrounding the Earth with beautiful white light, healing all that needs healing, healing all the fear, healing all emotions, healing all physical issues, healing the soul of all beings and the soul of the earth. Now I would like for you to take this beautiful, strong energy and now direct it right to the earth, going down through the soil, through the oceans, until you reach the molten core of the earth. And all of a sudden you feel the warmth, and the warmth starts coming up through the earth, reaching your energy. And as they mingle together, and it gets stronger and stronger. So just sit and feel the strength of this energy that you just created, healing the earth, all beings that live on and in the earth, or fly above the earth, or swim in the oceans, in the waters. It feels so good to make a difference. Now we've been concentrating on going very far away, but I would like for you to bring your attention back to our circle of beings, each one of us sitting here, receiving energy from each other and giving energy to each other. Unlimited energy. And we all feel perfect and brand new again. And know that any time you want to feel this healing, this light, this energy, you can come back here and revisit this place and just sit in this vortex that we have created that will always be here. Now this vortex is just working on its own, just like quartz, right? It's just going and going. We have created a beautiful healing modality to take care of everything on the earth. We are quite powerful. And you should congratulate yourself. And as we're in our circle, we can congratulate each other. This is the time for hugs and thank yous and good job. So let's take a little bit of time to be grateful for ourselves, for the energy, and mostly for each other, our community. And now it's time to return back to our meditation room. So again, I am going to count to 3, and on the count of 3, we will be inside and the door will close. Ready? 1, 2. The door is closing. We're now inside. And 3. The door is closed. And here we are back in our meditation room. Let's just take a moment to take in what just really happened. What did it look like? What did you sense? What did you feel? Did you hear anything? Smell anything? Now in a moment, I'm going to count to 5. And on the count of 5, you will be wide awake, your eyes wide open. But until we get to that point, I just want you to remember, pay attention to how you feel right now. Strong, powerful, full of love from the universe and from each other, with the knowledge that you have spread love and compassion and healing through the entire world. That's a pretty big job we just did. All right, now you're going to remember everything. All right, I think we're ready to come back up. So I'm going to start to the count, and on the count of 5, you're going to open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling wonderful all over. 1, 2, coming up slowly. Start breathing a little deeper. 3, 4, coming up very nicely. You might start to wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit. And 5, eyes wide open, wide awake, feeling wonderful all over. Thank you all for joining me on this very important healing journey.
Wow, welcome back. What a journey. I love the healing, and I love that you were all there with me. And I thank each and every one of you, especially you, Mickey. You fill my heart with such love that you are with me, and you always have my back, and you're positive, even though you have milk on your keyboard.
Yes, I'm going to have a bunch of stuff to do with you.
Oh,
I've got a lot of wet tissues over here.
oh my. Well, I would like to say happy 4th of July to everybody.
Yes, yes.
And
Because we don't do it over here. So
I know, I know. And I'm going to try to get this on live on the 4th of July. So that's my goal, is to have this ready for 1:30 on Thursday. And enjoy the new moon, set those intentions, and make them the best intentions that you can make them.
I agree wholeheartedly. I love you all and choose wisely.
Yes. I love you all too. Goodbye, Mickey. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.